Yo, what up, and welcome to a new L.M.S.V. Yo, what up, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of course, L.M.S.V. Now, for this one, we got another Clone Wars Jedi Knight, and unfortunately, somewhat of a fallen Jedi Knight slash a Dark Jedi. And that's none other than, of course, Nahdar Vebb, or as Kit Fisto likes to say, Nahdar! So yeah, now the reason that I find him so interesting and that he's actually kind of special in a way, mostly has to do with that he's part of a very, very small group, I guess, of like characters in Star Wars that have barely shown up at all and get the full, you know, Star Wars treatment, or the full marketing treatment. Basically, like, Nahdar only showed up in one episode and died. Like, we were introduced to him at the beginning and we saw his death at the end. Now, that's crazy. So the fact that he only appears in one episode where we're introduced to him and we see his death, and yet he's in one of the LEGO Star Wars games, he is in a LEGO Star Wars set, and they've made at least one action figure of him. That is nuts. Now the reason why that's nuts is because he's only in one episode. In one. Imagine how big of an impact you have to make as a character to get that kind of treatment. Like, it would have been so easy because he's only available in one set, which is 8095 General Grievous Starfighter, which is the set in which I got him. But it would have been so easy for them to include Kit Fisto. You know, they had the Kit Fisto mold at the time, so they could have very easily just thrown him in there and, you know, maybe give him two lightsabers, because Nahdar dies. And what was kind of symbolic and beautiful in a way is that after Nahdar dies, that Kit Fisto actually disarms General Grievous' hand, which then holds Nahdar's lightsaber, because as we know, General Grievous is a lightsaber collector. So it was kind of symbolic that Kit Fisto took that hand off, which contained Nahdar's lightsaber, and then grabbed it and used it against Grievous, and most likely I think just took it with him back to the temple, so they had at least something in regards to, you know, Nahdar to kind of honor him by. Same with Sifo Dyas' lightsaber, which Plo Koon finds, which was still, I mean, Sifo Dyas, he's part of that group as well. Like, we have barely shown up and yet we get a lot of hype, you know, that kind of group. And of course, the most perfect example, apart from Sifo Dyas, is of course my man Coleman Trebor, or however you want to say it, the fucking dinosaur who had the cojones to think that he could take on Count Dooku himself. I mean, he's the GOAT for that one. I remember watching that episode and just being like, oh my god, is this Jedi actually gonna do it? I don't even know his name, but he looks like a dinosaur and he's gonna take down Dooku. And then no, unfortunately not. Jango Fett had other ideas. He wanted to introduce him to one of his pistols. So, yeah, get real up close and personal with Coleman for a second. But yeah, man, Coleman is the perfect example of another member of this, you know, we barely show up but get a lot of stuff in return, because he also got multiple action figures and finally got a Lego minifigure. And I'm definitely gonna make more random Jedi and Sith using that head, because we barely see his species at all. And one, I love dinosaurs, I mean, who doesn't? Two, it's Star Wars, so obviously I'm gonna, you know, definitely use, I've already made 3 different Jedi and Sith designs using his head and hands, I guess. So yeah, definitely showing a lot more various species some love in the random Jedi and random Sith custom minifigure group? Sub-series? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm definitely showing him and his species a lot more love, because he deserves it. I mean, how awesome is it? Star Wars and dinosaurs. I mean, match made in heaven. So, anyway, like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? It's just, So, jokes aside, back to, of course, Nahdar. He's right there. So it's still very surprising to me how he got an action figure, how he was in one of the LEGO Star Wars games, and available in a LEGO Star Wars set. So it's crazy, and I personally really liked Nahdar as a kid. I think it was like maybe a year ago, like 6 months to a year ago, I rewatched the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars, and I was definitely liking him a bit less, kind of really seeing, you know, it's obviously a whole lot different when you watch something as a kid versus as a young adult/adult. So, you know, now as a young adult, I was kind of like, oh, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? And the way he died, like, we'll get to that in a second. So, without further ado, let's take a closer look and show some extra love to the 1 episode only Jedi, Nahdar Vebb, right now. And here he is, and as you can see, if there's one area he might have needed a small upgrade, it's his noggin itself, because that looks like a great many people, but not really like Nahdar. Maybe when he died, you know, but like other than that, not really. Like, it just screams Admiral Akbar. And that's kind of unfortunate, but still, I really like the rest of his design. Is very minimalistic. Again, this set is pretty old, so there's no arm printing, no leg printing. There is, however, some nice detailed back printing. Now, of course, one thing he could use is definitely a white hood, because it just looks like it's part of his robes, which I get, which in a way, you know, the hood is, but you know what I mean. Like, these days we can definitely upgrade this character to a whole new level, which would be a dope custom to make. Let me know if you would like to see that. Personally, I would rather wait until there's a new version of this head out, which looks a bit more accurate, because I don't know, something about it, something about the way he's just staring at you. It's so soulless. Like, are you there? Are you processing that you're alive in this moment right now? Like, are you okay? So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird looking one. Now, I could have gone for a very dark background, but I wanted to give him a bit more light to kind of go along with his look and feel, because he died in a layer, you know, in Grievous's layer. And in regards to Grievous's layer, of course, the most important thing that Nahdar, well, should have used maybe a bit better is, of course, his lightsaber. Now, first things first, I do love this hilt, like the color of it. It just, I don't know, it seems very royal for some reason, you know. It just has this certain look and feel to it that I really fuck with. So, you know, of course it's wildly inaccurate to his actual lightsaber hilt, but yeah, you know, it's not like they've upgraded since then, so it's kind of unfortunate. But again, that's where the LEGO custom minifigure community really shines, especially Brick Tacticals on another level. Like, Big Kid Bricks and Brick Tactical always bring the good stuff when it comes to the lightsaber hilt, so I'm sure that if you wanted to upgrade Nahdar, this Nahdar figure, you could definitely find a good lightsaber hilt to your liking from either Big Kid Bricks or Brick Tactical. So yeah, like, there is definitely a lot of potential here to upgrade Nahdar, to show him a bit more love and a bit more respect, but I still don't understand his death. I mean, I get how it happened and why it happened, but it's like, dude, I know that you're kind of like a fallen Jedi right now. You've given in to the dark side. You are still a Jedi Knight. But like, isn't it a very common fact that Grievous has 4 arms? Like, you know, Nahdar and Kit Fisto fought Grievous multiple times before Nahdar was killed. So it's like, did you just forget? Like, were you so consumed by the dark side that you forgot that this motherfucker has 4 arms? Bruh, come on. And it wasn't like Grievous gave him like a pity death or just a quick death. Like, you know, it wasn't like he shot him once and that was it. Nah, he went fucking crazy like a kid would on a piñata. This motherfucker kept on blasting this dude in the stomach. It was insane. It's like, are you ever gonna run out of ammo? Like, this is insane. So yeah, it's just absolutely sad, and I just like to believe that Nahdar had given in so much to the dark side that when, you know, their lightsabers clashed and he realized that, you know, that he wasn't gonna win this one, and then by that point it was already too late, and due to him realizing like I'm not strong enough, that he might have forgotten that, hey, I'm fighting Grievous, a cyborg with 4 arms, not 2, not 3. He's got 1 extra arm to grab a pistol. Maybe you should focus on doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi and start cutting those off. Like even Fisto did it. I think it would be common knowledge. Like, how do you dismantle a droid? Simple. First of all, does he have a gun? Yes. Get rid of those hands or the head. Simple. But this man chose to fight him like he would against a fellow Jedi or Force user. And that's just fucking retarded. So, yeah. Like, as a kid, I was like, oh my god, how did this happen? I mean, to give Nahdar some credit, he did look pretty good when it comes to combining Force techniques with lightsaber dueling. But at the same time, it's like, bro, as a kid, it wasn't as obvious that he was gonna die as it was when I rewatched it a couple months to a year ago, because the writing's on the wall almost from Jump Street. Like, the moment Nahdar starts to kinda not really vibe with his former master Kit Fisto anymore and starts talking some real dark side, Sith kind of things, it's just kinda like, dude, fucking relax. Like, you're here with your old master. I think you boys got this, but yeah, the writing's on the wall. It's so insane. But again, that's what happens when you watch something from the past, now that you're older, you don't view it the exact same way. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's just still mind-boggling to me that this man only showed up in 1 episode and got an action figure, is available as a Lego minifigure, and he's playable in a Lego Star Wars game. I mean, fucking hell, even Coleman Trevor can't say that. Sifo Dyas can't say that. So hats off to Nahdar. Like, he might have only shown up for 1 episode, but shit, he got a lot more love than the other 2, so it's crazy. But again, that's just what makes him so interesting and really, really dope, in my opinion. It just sets him apart even from the unique group that he's part of. So, final thoughts on Nahdar Vebb. Now, I don't know how rare this minifigure is. I just know that when I was a kid and this set was released, I was head over heels about it. I was going apeshit because we finally got a new General Grievous minifigure. Because lordy loo, the OG was outdated. It was insane. So yeah, but the fact that we also got Nahdar, because even as a kid, I kind of expected them to either include yet another Obi-Wan Kenobi or Kit Fisto. But no, they went the extra mile and gave the 1 episode only Jedi some love, and that just elevated that set to a whole new level of hype for me as a kid. So, yeah, I don't know how rare this minifigure is. Do I think you need to drop the biggest, fattest amount of money to get him? No. But do I think that he is worth getting? Absolutely. This is definitely one of those Jedi Knights slash, Jedis that would stand out in your collection, because there aren't a lot of, non-human Jedis, so if you really want to have a diverse set of Jedis, definitely get him. And I definitely think there's, like I already said, there's a lot of custom potential here, different hilts, different arms, different legs, possible hood. You could really elevate this minifigure to a whole new level. So I'm sure that Firestar Toys has this minifigure, if not all the parts to get it. So if you do want to get it and you want to get 10% off of your order, no matter what parts you order, definitely don't forget to use my code FSHSQ1 and you'll get 10% off of that order, whether it's for this awesome Nahdar Vebb or any other Lego piece that you want to order. That discount works for all of it. So yeah, definitely don't forget to use it. But again, I really like this minifigure. I highly recommend this minifigure. And I don't think there's a lot more to talk about because, again, like I said, he only showed up for 1 episode. And if there's one Jedi who also kind of deserves it, in my opinion, it's Imagundi. I don't know if you remember that, but that's definitely one of the coolest Jedis and more power. He was a Jedi Master, like he could wipe the floor with this dude. At least I like to think so. But still, Imagundi really deserves, some extra love. So once I do get remonetized, I definitely intend on, either making a custom Imagundi or upgrading an already existing Lego Star Wars custom Imagundi. I know that there are a couple out there. So yeah, if you like this sort of thing and you like this showcase, definitely don't forget to hit that like button. Like I said, I don't think there's a lot more to talk about Again, I highly recommend this minifigure for a reasonable price. I don't think, again, that you should drop the biggest, fattest bag of money on him. But again, that's just my opinion, you know, you don't have to, it's not law or anything, you know, whatever floats your boat basically. So I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So from the 1 episode only Jedi Knight Nahdar Vebb, as well as from yours truly, I hope you had an awesome day, I wish you an awesome day, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next video. Now let's go to the character roster, because you have now unofficially unlocked Jedi Knight Nahdar Vebb.